Hi friends, good day to all of you. So today I am going to discuss the different phases of a PhD, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the blues and the euphoria, and how you can safeguard yourself against the PhD blues which inflict a lot of people. So let's look at a typical PhD tenure. Essentially, when you go to the university for a PhD, there is a huge high. This is a big plus. You have made it into a good PhD program. You are looking forward to getting a doctorate, become a doctor someday. Your parents are proud of you. Your friends are pleased with you, and so on. Now you get into the university, you check into the dorm or move into the apartment, whatever the case may be, and then you start taking courses in many cases, or you start directly with research in some countries and some universities. Now, as you do this, there is certainly a good time, but there is a lot of pressure because you have to do well in the courses and so on. And you need to shape up the research problem. Sometimes you have to do these things simultaneously. So what happens, there is a strong learning period at this point. There is a steep learning curve, and you effectively become quite absorbed in what you're doing, and you continue to do that. Now, toward the first year or so, or maybe for some people toward the second year, you should have a research proposal ready. This is very important to make sure that you do not start drifting in the PhD program. The research proposal written by you in conjunction with your supervisor or guide, make sure that you have a preamble or a constitution which you can use to guide the PhD program. So this is the first step. The next step is you should make sure you do well in coursework. So if there are courses, you should do well in them because it strengthens your position. It also makes you a good student among the faculty. And also you should prepare well for the comprehensive exam. The comprehensive exam typically covers the key subjects which you need to master in order to do well in your research. Now, what starts happening is that by the second or third year of the PhD, people start getting somewhat melancholy. Time goes on, research is not going well. Now, this is not in all the cases, but in some cases. And to prevent that, I think it's very important to keep some work going on, keep something on the burner all the time. Essentially, try to put a paper in a conference, write an abstract. You have something to do, you need to go to this conference. You need to do certain tasks like register for the conference, book your flight, and so on. Now, if you are able to do, of course, you can publish a journal paper directly, and this will certainly bring you back into the positive side of the territory, and you will start feeling good again. You will start moving toward the PhD. But in some cases, the journal paper may take more time, and one of the things I have learned is that sometime putting a conference paper here and there in some local conference or national conference is a good way to make sure that you have done something, you have some paperwork to show for the couple of years you have put in, and so on. So these intermediate steps which are required during the PhD are very important. Sometimes students miss out on this. They think they will write a full thesis and then publish their papers, but the downward slope in that may be quite substantial. You need to show to yourself some productivity every year or so to actually feel good. This is something I learned during my own PhD, because my supervisor used to always insist on having at least one conference paper each year, and then we would try to figure out whether this conference paper could be published in a journal, and generally it could be after some work and some revision, but at least we had that conference paper done, and that would keep us busy for the whole year during the summers and the winters and so on. So that's something to keep in mind, that make sure you have something going on all the time. Don't keep things till the very end. And one of the revelations I had is that doing a PhD is somewhat like a cosine curve. Essentially, you start with a very good value. So if you remember, the cosine starts at 1 when x is 0. That's the curve for cos x. You start going somewhat downhill. You reach pi by 2, you go to 0, you go further downhill, and then you start going up. So somewhere at x is pi, you are at the lowest point in this program, and then you again start going up and you finish your program. So it's very important to make sure that during these lower times in the PhD blue period, maybe the second and third year of this tenure, you have a good support group, you have friends, you also have something going on, you develop some hobby also. Don't put all your eggs in the research basket. Maybe play some games, learn some musical instruments, learn some foreign language, read some novels and literature. These are important to make sure that your mental health stays good during this entire period, which is extremely important for people pursuing PhDs, as the PhD tends to become more and more difficult as time goes by and research progresses. So I hope this video is useful for you, and stay tuned to my channel for more such videos. See you soon.